Can you guys hear that too? Weird. Hi, I'm Gary Grimm. You might recognize my voice from the Death to Urban Metal podcast. You might have seen me in some of the videos that we've done for Death to Urban Metal. What you might not know is that every month I compile a playlist of new metal releases, worthy new metal releases from that month. And just to make it easier for the listener to find all the good stuff amongst all the detritus. Basically, I'm a giver. Anyway, I wanted to make these videos to accompany the playlists, to kind of bring to light some of the standouts from each playlist. Hoping to do this every month or until I get bored of doing it. We'll see what happens. But so this is the inaugural Death to Urban Metal's Prick Up Your Ears. You've heard of Metal Up Your Arse, now get to prick up your ears. So, this is for the month of October. This is some of the standouts from the month of October that I really enjoyed. So you'll be getting this metal, but also you'll be getting dramatic camera angles. And we might even have some special guests sometimes. Well, probably not. But enough of all that. Let's get into the releases. The first one that I want to talk about for the month of October is by a little band from the US called Undeath. They released an album called Lesions of a Different Kind through Prosthetic Records. Here it is. So there was a lot of hype around this album on the lead up to its release. Prosthetic did a whole bunch of promo for it, and I think the album lives up to the hype if you like old school death metal, because this is what you get with this album. It's really took me back to being a teenager and discovering Cannibal Corpse and Deicide and Morbid Angel for the first time. It's got the real old school feel to it, but a lot of modern kind of style to it as well. So there's a little bit of a little bit of something for everybody. The writing's good, the riffs are good. There's a lot of interesting songwriting in there. So it's not just like a pale imitation of the old school death metal albums. It's something really new. Heaps of gory lyrics, like when I first discovered Cannibal Corpse and I liked going through the booklets and reading the lyrics. You get a lot of that kind of stuff with Undeath. Yeah, real old school gory death metal, just the way I like it. And the next album that I wanted to talk about is by a band called Hellripper. They have an album called The Affair of the Poisons through Peacefield Records. And it sounds a little something like this. So if you're unaware, Hellripper is a one-man band from Scotland run by a guy named James McBain. He does everything on it, writes the songs, plays all the instruments, does the vocals. He's been in a bunch of other bands, but we're just here to talk about Hellripper today. Premium blackened thrash or even blackened speed metal, because sometimes it feels more like Motorhead than it does, say, Aura Noir. I mean, there's definitely that newer Black and thrash sound there, but it's like Motorhead sped up with black metal vocals on it. The sound is huge. The vocals are dirty and grimy. Just it's high energy, high speed riffing. The riffs are insane on some of these tracks you might have heard from the beginning. And yeah, it's all killer, no filler. So check out Hellripper, The Affair of the Poisons. Next up, I wanted to talk about the Mighty Fenriz and the new release by Isengard. I can't even begin to pronounce it. It'll be on the screen, the name of the album, and that's through Peaceful Records as well, so check it out. So this album has been really divisive in the metal scene. A lot of people expect from the full-length, the old Isengard full-length albums, that kind of folk metal mixed with black metal kind of sound, which Fenriz did. Fenriz from Darkthrone, of course. Look, if you don't know Fenriz is from Darkthrone, probably, why are you watching this? Go do your homework and then come back. But yeah, very divisive in the metal scene. It sounded more like Fenriz's Red Planet. For those of you who are in the know of that, maybe I'll play a little bit now. So yeah, it's more of the Fenriz Red Planet kind of sound, really proggy, psychedelic. It's quite punky in parts. A lot of trad metal that Fenriz loves to advocate for. Agent Steel making his eyes wet because it's so metal, stuff like that. Me, I like it. It's fun. They're really old recordings. They're from the late 80s, early 90s, I believe, and just kind of remastered and packaged into this thing. And so I found it really interesting to hear what Fenriz was doing outside of Darkthrone around that time, and it was Isengard, and this was kind of like the birth of Isengard before he went all folky Viking, Winter Skugga, all that kind of stuff. Check it out. You might not like it. You might tell me what you think in the comments, or don't. Let's go to the next album. So the next release I wanted to talk about is by a band called Lamp of Moma. The album is called The Air of Ecliptical Romanticism, and that is through Death Cult Productions. Sorry. Have a listen. So Death Cult Productions is really interesting. It's cult with a KV instead of a CU. Next Tuesday. The label is based out of the UK, and it's a lot of really raw sounding black metal, and that's what you get here with Lamp of Murmur. They do really limited pressings of their records and cassettes, and they sell out really quickly. You see online people are hammering the F5 key, refreshing the screen, trying to get their pre-orders, and these records just flying out the door really quickly. But what does it sound like? It's raw black metal. It's not reinventing the wheel here. It's very much the sum of its influences. But at the same time, it's not really a bad thing. Sometimes I want to hear some new raw black metal, and it's a good initiation kind of band for people that are discovering black metal for the first time and want to see what the raw stuff sounds like when it's put together really well, when the riffs are good, when it's all sounding the way it's supposed to sound, so all grim and frostbitten like. So that's Lamp of Murmur. What's next? Next up is a band called Botanist. The album is called Photosynthesis, and it's out on the Flensa. Check it out. For those unfamiliar with The Botanist, the long story short, it is black metal performed on hammered dulcimers and a lot of natural sounding instruments, so like acoustic drums, all that kind of stuff. It's been dubbed green metal because all the albums are named after the scientific names of flowers. All the song titles and the lyrical themes are about flora and nature, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's all performed on hammered dulcimers instead of guitars, which lends a kind of weirdness to the sound. It started off as a very kind of fast, heavy black metal kind of project. But now it's incorporating a lot more melody, a lot more clean vocal. That is fitting in with the sound of the hammered dulcimers really well. The band is a brainchild of a guy, I think it's pronounced Otrabo. I'm sorry if I mangled your name. It was a one-man band, like he played all the instruments, but then more recently he started working with a more of a band, people playing different instruments, a collective as he likes to call it. I haven't heard the full album of this yet. I've only heard a couple of tracks because it actually, at time of recording, it doesn't come out until tomorrow. But from what I've heard, I like so far, I've liked everything else that Botanist has released. So you can't really go wrong. If those two tracks are the only good ones and the rest is shit, then I'm sorry for wasting your time, but I doubt it. Check out Botanist. Check out Photosynthesis. It should be out now. Check it out. So that's it. That's the first edition of Death to All But Metal's Prick Up Your Ears. I hope you enjoyed it. Please tell me in the comments what I missed, what was tickling your taints this month, in the month of October 2020. Tell me if you completely disagree with the choices I made, or tell me if you found these bands for the first time because of this video, maybe. I don't know, just talk to me, I'm lonely. Please, somebody talk to me. Talk to me. Make sure you also check out the Spotify playlists that I'll put a link somewhere. You'll find it if you're watching this video. You'll be able to see the link in the writing part. You'll see the video, and then there'll be like writing bits, and in the writing bits there's going to be a link, so check out that link. I don't have a sponsor for these videos yet, but hopefully I'll find one soon. And then you'll see more sterling production such as this. Anyway, I've been Gary Grimm. You've been watching Death Toll by Metal's Prick Up Your Ears, and I hope you enjoy the metal. Catch you next time.